Hey, I'm D'Angela.
And I'm David, and we're work spouses. Yep, you heard it right, but not the type that you're thinking of.
We realize you spend more time with people at work than you do with the people you love most.
We're going to discuss the interactions such as the games played at work, building the right and avoiding the wrong relationships. D'Angela and I, we're currently work spouses.
Join us each week as we testify, help, and complain about work in corporate America.
Welcome back,
Welcome, co-workers.
Yes, it's been, 2 weeks?
2 weeks. We are Skype recording live, so we hope that this sounds like something. David, how are you doing in this quarantine nation?
I'm fine. The quarantine is kind of like a dream of mine, to just sit back for a little bit and relax,
Okay.
Other than you can't go to the stores, and of course, losing money because businesses are closed and you can't, I do other things. I do music. I'm not doing no music. So my wife does hair. She's not doing no hair. So, of course, there's some negative, some bad to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing in the quarantine?
I'm great. This is like a dream come true for me too. I love it. I was meant to live this life, the remote work from home life. I was meant to be independent like this, and people just call and email me when they need something. I love it. I mean, of course, it's a huge disadvantage to those who cannot work, like people in the restaurant industry and people who are healthcare professionals too, because they are taking time away from their families to, kind of like put this thing to bed a little bit or assist sick people to get well. So I do, my heart does go out to them, those people, people who are just not able to work remotely. Their job don't kind of support that.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, and even people that are working remotely is tough because you're running, you're trying to do your business at home, but then you're running a daycare center, in the next room over.
Full time.
Yeah, right, full time, right. It's 24/7, right. And because the big thing, I think that, because you see people complaining about, I didn't know my kids were going to be this tough, and that's not really the issue for me. Even though I just got an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old at home, but I think one of the issues is not being able to take them to the skating rink. You can't take them to the movies. So it's like you're just confined to home. It's not about having your kids so long. It's about the confinement,
right?
Yeah. So.
And that's you're restricted. Your areas are restricted. You got to make room for everyone now to stay there all day and do schoolwork. You do work, and housework and household and everything like that. And it kind of starts to blend together. And then so many things are going on.
Right. And they need recess. They need to go outside and run around. So, those are the difficulties. So, it kind of goes with our topic for today, which is, working while in this pandemic in lockdown,
Yeah.
Justin, do we have some tips that we like to talk about, working?
I have a lot of tips actually that I want to offer up.
Okay. So
I mean, not like several, gazillion, but more so just a main tip, because I feel like a lot of people are impacted by this. And I've been seeing a lot of social media memes about what you should be doing with your time and so forth. So, and I just don't think that there should be people out here telling you what to do with your time. But that's the day and age that we live in, is that everybody got an opinion and we can share it. And you have to distort which opinion applies to you and which does not.
Okay.
So, I guess starting out with that, since we already kind of talked about how we're doing in this, as we move forward, I just think more so the meme that I saw, and it said if you don't come out of quarantine with a new skill, a new side hustle started, or more knowledge, you never lack time, you lack discipline. And I'm like, that's true for those who actually were already go-getters, who were already, doing other things or juggling multiple jobs while being an entrepreneur or becoming an entrepreneur. They had other dreams. But it's not true for those people who already worked their butt off, and needed some time to actually regroup, needed some time to actually rest, or needed some time to actually be with themselves, needed some time to actually connect with the people they love most. I mean, we talk about, I think our whole show has been based upon, like, we spend more time with strangers than the people that we actually love and care about. So I think this is the time to reconnect. This is the time to actually make and do things with people that you love. Granted, we're forced to do it, but actually spend that quality time, because you're never going to get this time back, because you're going to go back to living life as we, your regular day-to-day schedule. You do this, you do that. Everything is orderly. Not to say that things can't be orderly now, but I just think that actually reconnecting, for those who have families and stuff like that and could be within the same space with them, to reconnect with them and actually have a conversation with them and see how, they do things. Learn about, because you're going to learn about how they do things now, how they learn what's going on. I mean, more so than ever.
Yeah. And I seen, people were talking about, there's going to be a lot of babies making, but on the other side, it might be some divorces happening too, because people can't stand each other. I'm used to my spouse working nights. I'm not used to having them 24 hours a day. We don't have that dynamic in the house. And I was talking to a county official the other day from California, and she said, and the person I was talking to, they said, well, yeah, everything is good, but what has increased in that county, which is a large county, is domestic violence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they said, because of now the space, sometimes you're at home, you don't have enough space, you're getting on each other's nerves.
There's no escape, basically.
No escape. It ain't no, I'm going to go take a walk, or I'm going to go stay at my mama's house. I'm going to stay at my friend's house. I'm going to go stay at a hotel. No, it's like, you have to face the issue. You got to be able to communicate, which, you got to be able to have conflict resolution and skills like that. So, and some people just don't have those skills.
Yeah.
And now it's just, things are going to boil up, and there are going to be some bad stories that are going to come out of this quarantine. Yeah.
Yes. I think I considered what you said prior to, people reconnecting in a positive way, because I do have, like, we're only thinking about like families, husbands, like versus like husbands single. But I'm thinking about, like, I have a friend who live at home with her parents, and she's like, her anxiety is like so much because her parents are like always in tune with the news and everything that pops up about that, pandemic. She's like, oh my gosh, are we going to die? Like, she was like, I need to breathe. She was just like, I can't even have an escape right now because is always around me. And I had to have a conversation with them and tell them, hey, I don't want to hear this all day. I do work. I do want to kind of escape this. I don't want to keep talking about it. And then we're in here all day together.
Yeah.
So, and the lockdown isn't helping because they want people to not do nothing but go to the grocery store.
Right. And even the kids, they want to go back to school. Like, they
that's what your kids are saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, because you got to do work, and it's like, you still got to do work, and and it's not fun.
It's not a vacation.
You just don't have that interaction, that daily interaction that you used to have with your peers and things like that. I was talking to my son and my nephew; they're ready to go back to school, and my son is not even a school type person. But
he don't even like school.
Yeah, he's ready to go back.
I think that's hilarious.
One of the questions I had, I said, do you think people are better at home with the real spouse, or do you think they rather be at work with their work spouse?
I'm for sure they'd rather be at work with their work spouse.
Yeah. I mean, I would like
about. Go ahead.
I would like to
Go
know,
ahead.
like, yeah, the stories. I wish, like, I got to, hopefully when we reconnect with society and everything in your circle, I want to hear some stories, like maybe some relationships, like I said, got stronger, and maybe, unfortunately, some fell apart. But
Yeah.
yes, this is definitely a test for all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I agree. The test is that will you withstand this 90-day, 60-day
Yeah.
quarantine with the
Yeah.
people that you truly thought you loved
Yeah.
years ago? And that's another reason why I feel like this quarantine thing is like, we all have had to show us how many distractions we've had in our lives, because we have so many distractions in our lives that now that we actually have to either sit with ourselves, sit with the people we made decisions with, sit with people who we necessarily don't want to sit, with, because this is our household, our livelihood. It's like,
Right.
did you make the best decision? Did you
Right.
choose the best route? So I do agree that it's going to be awakening for a lot of people, not just in light of like, oh, did I make a good choice, or boyfriend or husband or spouse, whatever. Wife, or also distractions from yourself for those who are single.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
because I know, me being a single person and dating, guys, it's easy to be distracted by women and seeing them and doing this because you got all this time. Nobody know
Right.
what you're doing in your spare time. But now that you got to sit by yourself, like, how are you operating as a single individual? Like, can you handle it? Is the introverted side coming out of you, or the extroverted side showing? Like, how are you managing this as a single person?
I talked to one of my single coworkers, a girl, and she's 25, young lady, and nice looking, and she's single. And we did a phone conference maybe last week, and we just talked on the phone because we were trying to work out an issue just one on one. And she was just so happy to talk to me just because of the lack of interaction she has had with people. She said, maybe we should talk like, once a week, just to catch up on work and everything. I'm like, yeah, I understand. Because, when you're in a house by yourself, it could be difficult if you are not used to just being comfortable with your own thoughts and things like that. So then I did ask her about, the dating thing, and because she had some dates stored up because she was finally getting back on the scene. And because it's a health thing, she'd rather be alone than risk, inviting somebody over to do Netflix and chill. And just because you just don't know, when you're dating someone, you're not that familiar, you don't know who they're around, you don't know what's being contracted and things like that. So, if I have to, stay home to stay alive,
you're gonna stay home to stay alive. Yeah. You're gonna risk it all for a date.
I saw like a funny meme today. You might have saw it. It says something like, "Oh, people want to get their hair done and their nails done," and yeah.
Yeah. I know who available for appointment, the mortician.
Yeah, I just thought that was so funny. Yeah,
that was funny.
And you get that appointment, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. So that's interesting, coming from a single person, because I'm single as well. I would have never thought like that person would have got lonely or just try to speak with their coworker if they never had that relationship prior to going into this, quarantine phase. Because if I always spoke to you as a coworker, I would still catch up with you, even if it was text. Like my work spouse, my new work spouse, rather, he calls me every day almost. So,
right. I think, we talk to text, but I think like I said, talking on the phone, that's what it is. It's like, oh, you don't realize how much you miss somebody until you like on the actually voice to voice. But
I guess, you know what? I'm not learning much from this quarantine thing other than the fact that I enjoy being alone even more. Because I think people forget that about my social personality. And I tweeted this like a week ago, was that like most people think that I'm an extrovert. And however, I think I'm both.
Right.
Meaning like I'm an ambivert, which means basically depending on the situation, how I could be either introverted or extroverted, which most people don't get that about me, but I am innately overall a loner. But people don't assume that of my personality because I'm so social. So I enjoy being alone in this time. I feel like I have so many things that I always needed to do, and I'm doing that. I'm actually able to focus more of my attention without distractions, and I still have virtual happy hours with my friends, virtual happy hour with my guy friends, virtual happy hour with friends, like family, and call me, and everybody's calling me. So I still feel like I have time to talk to them. I feel like actually the days go by much quicker. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, well, the days has been going by quicker because I'm just busy with home as well as work. But yeah, it's definitely going by fast. But like I said, it does come back to just what type of personality you already have in the beginning. Were you the type of person who could go to the movies by themselves? Could you go to dinner by yourself?
That's me. See.
Yeah.
I go to movies by myself all the time. I love going to the movies by myself, actually. That's one of my favorite pastimes.
and people need people around them to build their character up or to,
validate them.
Validate them. Yeah. So, yeah.
Let's keep it real.
Yeah. Yeah. And in times like this, yeah, everybody, yeah, you can get into a selfish mood where you're just more concerned about yourself. Or, but I do think that it is a great time to just take care of home. I mean, because sometimes you don't, just little projects, whether it's straightening up, whether it's revamping the household or something like that. I mean, it's a lot of time to just get things ready. So when we're, launch back out there, you can have a lot of things already just in motion in place. I mean, yeah.
But I think so that kind of goes into my tip. Like, this is an ideal time for a person who's motivated, ambitious like yourself and me as well. But it's not necessarily how someone else would choose to spend their time that doesn't necessarily is on that track. I feel like you don't have to tell an entrepreneur, ambitious person, or goal-oriented individual how to maximize off this time. They're going to do that without you letting them know that. Now, the other people who choose not to do that, who may have been on the fence or so, maybe that's not where they need to be. Maybe starting something like this is not where they may be, more so in getting in tune with themselves, with things that they already enjoyed before but never had time to do. Maybe getting back to the root of them is something that they should actually take the time out and do. So I think like my advice that I was saying that I was going to give, or my tips or whatever, is that I think a person should utilize this time to do things that make them feel fulfilled, that they didn't have the chance to do with all the other distractions going on in life. Because even if some people are working from home, they still have enough time to kind of like push those things in between that working space, now that it's just all kind of bunched together now and you're in one space. And people who aren't, who don't matter, they're gonna do what they're gonna do anyway. Ambitious people, I don't feel like you have to tell them that. I just think like having that pressure on other people who is not that lane or who are considered the worker bees, let them be the worker bees. I just think that maybe they should look at things that they personally need to work on, whether it's in their house, whether it's in themselves, whether with their kids, whatever, to do that versus giving them and pushing them to be an entrepreneur or pushing them to be like, what they're not. I just think everyone should focus on doing something that betters them and doesn't necessarily look the same for everyone, Yeah,
it doesn't. And and it's some people feel like, they got a lot of time on their hands and too much time, so then, you're doing every little joke and every little game on Instagram, participating in every little survey and everything,
Yes. Challenge, the challenges, everybody in the challenges. Yeah. I saw your push-up challenge, Dave.
I had to do the push-up challenge, right? So
I did the push-up challenge too, but I didn't post it on. You didn't see it because you're not on Instagram, so I posted on Instagram.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Did that. But also it has given me some time to just connect with people that I don't talk to as much.
Mm-hmm.
So I just been able to just have more time. Because even though you're working from home, like I said, there's nobody over your shoulder and you're working at your own pace. Yes, sometimes there's stuff that you multitasking, I understand like that. But after a conference call, I can go upstairs, kiss my wife or kiss my kids or,
Mm-hmm.
grab a
Or have
sandwich.
lunch with them.
Right, yeah.
Have
So-
lunch with them and then go right back to work and finish out your day.
Yeah, it's lots of benefits.
I mean, you got to think like European countries do things like this. Like America is the only place that really kind of don't have or have this construct of what work should look like and leave in the office. Not saying that they don't leave the office and necessarily go to work or do things, but a lot of European countries have structures like this where they understand the work-life balance. Family is important more so than the work, but making sure you have your work done is, of course, a priority. And I like that idea. I like that. I think that's going to keep people kind of motivated.
Yeah, and one of the main things I do daily, even though I didn't do today, is take a walk around the neighborhood, take a jog.
Yeah.
You got to go outside, whether you're just going to the patio for 30 minutes or, whatever what your setup is. You got to go outside,
Yeah, I agree. I said this month, since we're in, the month of April, that I was actually going to download that Nike app and try to run. Now, running is not something I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing is that downside of all of the situation for me is that the gyms are closed. If the gyms were open, this would be amazing. This whole quarantine thing would be amazing. But the fact that the gyms are closed is something that is just like killing me to my soul.
And even like, is like your community gym closed as well? Like in your complex?
Everything, yeah. Community gym closed, everything. And I don't have that amount of equipment in my place to do home workouts. I mean, but they giving tips and stuff on social media, which has been helpful, but it's just the idea of like, I compartmentalize. So I also don't want to keep pulling things out, putting it back, moving the couch over, doing those type of things. I want the space for it to know this designated space to work out, designated office space to work. I like designated spaces for things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So are you saying you think you might come out of this like 300 pounds?
Yeah. I'm going to be a BBW by the time I get
Yeah. So, then how about hairdresser? Everybody's talking about, one of my friends posted saying, barber should be an essential job.
Essential job. I'm sure everybody thinks that a luxury should be an essential job because they're used to it being a convenience to their lifestyle.
Right. Yeah. And then, like, some people are not gonna get their haircut, they're not gonna trim their beard, But before the barbers, sometimes you're doing it yourself, or when you have the money, what you're doing those home cuts.
Yeah, but some people don't need to do no home cuts. Just like somebody don't need to do their home hair. They just need to figure out. This is the time to figure it all out, in my opinion. And we're all not skilled at these things. That's why we pay for these things. I know for sure, because I'm not doing my own hair. What?
So, other than the gym, what else do you miss the most?
I can't really. Other than the gym, so me, I'm social, so I just miss social events with my girlfriends, or but I have virtual. I have virtual. You said what?
The Black Caucus affairs.
The Black Caucus affairs. No, but I miss seeing them in person and going out and trying new places and things, but I get to see them virtually. I get to talk to them virtually. And sometimes I actually kind of love it more now because I get to FaceTime them while I'm working sometimes. So I'm not necessarily in the office and somebody's watching me and I can't FaceTime or have that connection or talk on the phone as much as I want to. Because I feel like I'm sick of these conference call meetings taking up my time too, because I feel like I'm on a conference call back to back every day on time about work stuff. And I'm like, I'm not going to get no work done if you keep calling me because you think I'm available all day long.
Are you getting dressed every day?
Yes. So I have to get up, brush my teeth, take my hair down, Like I have to do certain things. I'm not getting fully dressed. Like I'm not putting on makeup. This is probably the first time I put on makeup last week. This is the first time I put on makeup this week for our video podcast recording. And but I'm not putting on makeup, which I'm okay with. I just been kind of getting like in loungewear, like a tee, leggings, and that's it. I mean, I don't really need much on in the house, but I am getting dressed so that I can get into the mindset to work. I know a lot of people are like, I've been sitting in the bed, but I cannot sit in the bed and work because my body associates the bed with sleep. So.
Well, what time are you getting up? Do you have your alarm clock, or you just get up when you feel it?
That's another part of my tips, is that I'm making sure that my alarm continues to go off each day that I'm supposed to be clocking into work, because I want to make sure that my body resonates with what's weekend and what's weekday, because this is going to be over at some point. I don't want to have a hard time adjusting back to a schedule of getting up. Now I'm already going to have, we're already going to have a little bit of push and pull when it's time for us to get back and go back to work regular and commute, because we got to make time to commute. But now that I don't have to, I can enjoy a little bit of not having to get up and get fully dressed. So what's 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes now to go to another room?
And do you feel like you're saving more money?
Heck yeah. I feel like I'm saving a ton of money. That's the best thing about this that I can't wait for the end, is that I'm not spending any money being social, because as you know, and all our listeners know, I spend most of my money being social. So, and eating out in restaurants. I'm fully okay, and everyone knows that I have a food blog. I'm fully okay. I have been amping up a lot of my videos. A lot of people want to see my videos. They've been asking for my videos. I've been creating a lot more food videos and posting them, because that takes time, like editing. So every time, like once I'm clocking out of work, I'm going in, either showing the items that I'm cooking or how I'm cooking throughout the day, or, early in the day or in the evening, to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, without, doing too much with food, wasting money, because everybody has all these groceries now, but they don't know what to do with it because they're not used to eating at home, and they're not understanding that you need food to sustain you from the whole entire day until you go back to the grocery store. So I've been showing little like tricks and stuff like that, and trying to do videos and how to have like snack in between the day. Because I'm not eating no crazy stuff. Like I'm not about to come out. If anything, I'm going to come out and just need to go to the gym, but I'm not going to be eating like bad cookies and chips and stuff all day.
What about the relationships that, the spouse can't cook and you just realize?
You didn't just realize that your spouse didn't cook. How's that going for you, David? How are you handling lunch? Because you ate lunch out every day.
Right. Yeah, I eat lunch out every day. And now it's good. It's like we got some variety.
How does that work?
One thing that surprised me that I like is I've been eating these like this little pre-made healthy frozen meals.
TV dinners. Like TV dinners?
Not TV dinners, but like it'd be like Asian chicken and rice or something like that. Like
okay.
Like those little
frozen meals, yeah.
Yeah. Every now and then I might change it up, do that, eat leftovers from dinner. My wife loves to make a sandwich every day for lunch. That's
okay.
So that's a good thing. Like I still wake up early, and I probably get a good hour and a half to myself before I even start work. Just come down here, and I'm just working on other different things.
Yeah.
But then around 9:30, like my stomach's growling, and my wife is up. She's like, "Oh, what do you want to eat for breakfast?" So that's just something different that you're not accustomed to.
Yeah. But again, that's a chance for you all to kind of reconnect. And that's what I mean. Like you're reconnecting in ways that you probably is precious. Like you won't ever get that time back. So I hope that throughout the chaos, people are still able to be like, find loving ways to connect with the person in a loving, kind, way. I don't have a problem with cooking my meals, saving my meals, eating my meals. But I do understand how it can be a beast for some people, especially men, single men who don't cook. Not that women can, all women can too, but
I'm sure there's a lot of women who cannot. Or are they just being satisfied and just eating these little macaroni and cheese boxes and stuff.
box meals.
Box meals, right?
I mean, it's nothing wrong with box meals. It's just that one thing I am noticing on Facebook and social media and Instagram is that how people actually eat. So people are like cooking all these cookies, baking all these cakes and all these pies. And I'm like, who are y'all baking this stuff for? You should not be eating like this throughout the day or the week. Like, enjoy the time, enjoy being able to watch TV, yes, but I don't know. My day is so like separated that it still feels the same way other than I'm just not leaving the house as often. That's just it.
Yeah, my mornings go by fast. Like it gets to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock real quick.
Yeah.
And
what time do you kind of clock out of work? What time do you kind of end your day, your work day, to transition over?
Probably like 5:15.
Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, probably like 8 to 5. From like 8 to 5. Sometimes 7:45 to 5:15. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
It's not hard because, like I said, you don't have that commute time. You take. I mean, let's be real. You want to take 2 lunches. You take 2 lunches.
Yeah. And you can still have the rest of the day to do whatever else you need to do.
Yeah. So
what about so how's like, what do you think like all this is going to end? Like let's do a wager. Let's like put a bet.
Oh, when is it end?
Yeah, what you think like whoever's the closest wins?
I would say May 20th.
May 20th? Oh, May 20th. Okay. So, dang, you said the 20th. Okay. I'm going to say sooner.
Okay. Okay, I'll put you in a tough spot. I want to see if you want to go over or under.
I will see. The thing is, I'm going to say sooner. So I'm just going to say 19th. I'm just going to put, because you said 20th, so there's no sooner. I'm not going to pick a date just sooner. Because I said that I don't think this is going to go past Memorial Day. So that's why I said I think all is going to be cleared up by Memorial Day. So either way, it's kind of within the same range. I don't think that they're going to be able to have people indoors and without having people over and socializing or having cookouts and picnics and stuff. If Memorial Day come here, it's a holiday and approach. It's not. It's going to be very difficult for them to control that.
So, if tomorrow was a healthy day, the virus is gone, everything's open, what would be the first thing you would do?
Go to the gym. What, did you not hear me? I would go to the gym. Because this is the thing. I don't want to still be around people for a good 2 weeks once this is over.
Right. Yeah. Hey, honestly, you got to do it 30 days because it's like holidays. Everybody's out of it.
You know how when a new phone come out, well, you don't have an iPhone. Like when a new iPhone come out, I wait till everybody who gets the new iPhone so they can get all the glitches out, get all the problems out and the kinks. That's how I feel about this virus. Like I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and handle 30 days out, and then I'm going to test the waters and see how warm or cold it is, and if I should play around in it.
I can see people not coming over until September-ish.
I disagree because people are already putting lockdown, like you're in Maryland. So they put a lockdown on people because they sick and tired of them actually socializing within their homes. So people are still going to socialize amongst each other. I think anyway.
I can see like people not coming to my house till about September. Like you just gotta make sure.
Just being precautious.
Yeah, you just gotta make sure everybody don't got it. Like
Well, so for me, I would just be more so concerned. Like you have kids, your wife, so I would be concerned about that. But for me, I've had friends come over, but I know like it's only just those people, it's really a small group. It's the same people that I'm talking to every day. So I know where they've been, we're kind of discussing it, making sure, because everybody at this point want to protect themselves. So I wouldn't have a problem with people coming over, but I'll be more so concerned about having a big gathering of people that I haven't seen or spoken to Granted, I'm speaking to everybody, but I don't know what they have done or what they've been once the lockdown has been released. Like, oh, everybody can hang out. I don't know what's going on. Like,
let me ask you this: so the friends that have come over, did you hug them at the end or shake their hand at the beginning? Or
no, I didn't shake their hand. We didn't hug. Okay. I mean, we didn't really do that often. Right. It's like, hey, like I see far away. No, we're not doing all that. We understand, the severity of all this and then the seriousness and how people can be asymptomatic. I'm really taking it seriously because I honestly don't think that the government has a true idea of this disease, this virus rather, and what it can actually do to everyone because our government, it took so long and our stupid president took so long to actually take this seriously. So I think that because there's like a large range of people, because it's just like people that's kind of dying, and then now it's like, oh, it's just a larger strand or a more aggressive strand of influenza, and then you're seeing people die that's on a certain age, and they're like, well, wait, I thought you said it was like influenza, you can beat this. And then the thing is like, yeah, you possibly can, but everybody's immune system differently. And it's like kind of like genetics. Like you don't know what genetics going to pair up with this virus and not going to be able to survive. Their immune system not going to be able to survive it because of genetics. Nobody knows that yet. So I think for the most part, there's a lot of unknowns, and it's not necessarily because of us and social distancing. It's more so because we don't have a government that's actually doing the precautionary things that they should have been doing long before this process. Because I think like, okay, if we social distance, right? Then we come together, and then there's another outburst of it or spread of it. People are not going to have that much faith in their government that they actually don't, or, that they're actually saying, let's social distance from these people or other people so that we won't give them anything. When we've been doing this for 60 days and nothing has been, nothing has changed, people are going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to have to decide and take my chances and just be cautious. I don't see people having that much faith in our government anymore if this doesn't really clear up after all of this,
Yeah. So while at home, have you seen any like good movies, anything, documentaries, anything interesting?
Man, it's been so much TV going on, and people be talking about watch this, watch that, watch it. What have you watched? I get tapped out of TV. Like I don't really watch that much TV unless it's already a show of mine that's recorded or I'm DVRing. But the new shows that I've been getting into, I'm like, what is this crap they got me watching? Tiger King and what's the other?
I didn't get into that Tiger King. Is it good?
Yeah, it was too hillbilly-ish for me.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it.
Well, I did get into it. I did finish it. Yeah, I finished it. I was able to. I was in and out of it. I can honestly say I was in and out of it, but for the most part, I got the whole understanding of like what was going on. It was like, this is some crazy stuff. Like this is out of control. The lady killed her husband, I think, and fed him to the lions, which I think she did kill her husband.
Okay, I might want to tune back in then.
Yeah, and then like the whole ring of it all, and it's just really try, but there's other things I'm sure on Netflix. Before that, I did see the Madam C.J. Walker story.
What do you think about that?
I feel like it was not completely finished. I feel like it was a lot of things that they didn't explore or kind of like continue to tell me. Like, I feel like I just have questions. Like, I need more details. I have more, like, what happened to this daughter? What happened to, I mean, I know they gave the little synopsis at the end. I mean, the summary at the end, but.
Right. What do you think about the relationship between her and her husband?
All of them? Her husband's, you mean, like all of them? She had two.
No. Between
Madam C.J. Walker and her husband?
Yeah, and her husband.
Yeah, she had two. So the one was abusive, And then the other one was just
the second one. The second one.
I feel like as she became more famous, he had, he decided to his personality change. What do you think? As a husband,
I feel like she didn't include him in. He wanted time and she wanted to work.
What you mean he wanted time?
He said, "Let's go on vacation. We're doing pretty good. Let's go on vacation." No, let's not go on vacation. We got to get this work done. Because her vision was bigger than the relationship with her marriage. She rather put blood, sweat, and tears into her vision. Well, she had a vision. She had a huge vision, and I commend her for that.
Yeah.
But her vision for her household, for her husband, wasn't comparable to her vision for work.
Her work ethic wasn't the same as you're saying the relationship ethics.
Yeah. Other than, I'm sure she's glad that her daughter picked it up, but, I think her behavior kind of, based on the way they portrayed it in the movie, her behavior kind of forced the husband to look for love elsewhere.
Oh, yeah, I think it was very relevant to what happens today. Like in relationships and distractions, like people are so goal oriented and focused and tunnel vision, but they don't understand that it comes with the balance. So although all these things are happening and although all these things are taking place, you still have to have balance and cultivate the relationship with your family, spouse, so forth. But some people just like, if you can't get on board,
right.
See you later.
And there's some simple things that add up, Yeah, he wanted to help and do the marketing. Okay, he didn't have the best ideas, I understand. There's a way to, softly break it down to them. But not just that, is like every direction. Okay, she didn't trust him in negotiating. She didn't trust him almost with anything other than just doing some hard labor. Nothing in the decision making. Anything that required decision making, she didn't trust him.
Well, do you blame her?
but the thing about right. So I think there's a way to go about it. Now that we're talking about, we could kind of bring this into our work. Is this is your partner, and if they don't possess those skills, then teach them. Even though at that time it's difficult because it's a man's world, and but the husband pride. If he was humble enough to support your vision, I'm sure he's humble enough to take some advice on these business tips.
Right.
So it's only going to make the relationship stronger. Like, hey, honey, the reason why I didn't ask you to negotiate this deal because I think this approach will work out better. At least give them the chance to take your advice or reject it. Not
right, but okay. Right. Go ahead.
No, not just not use them, but give him a chance to fail, which he did. I did. I
was gonna wait till you finish. I was like, wait a
minute. He did fail by going into the bathroom and getting the guy to agree to come to the house. But he wasn't gonna show up, a councilman or whatever. So I guess he kind of struck out. But I still think she needs to have that conversation. Hey, at least just define the role, because he was finding out his role like sometimes on the spot during like the business meeting.
Yeah.
And just getting told, hey, no, hands off. This is.
But coming from I'm going to play devil's advocate. I don't feel like he was as supportive as a spouse either. Like, I don't feel like he said, okay, I'm not necessarily understanding her vision. I'm not necessarily understanding how she wants things done. Let me kind of take a step back, see where I'm helpful so that it won't make me feel inadequate as a spouse, because a business partner and a spouse are two different things. So I feel like with them kind of having disagreements and not necessarily coming together and agreeing with things, and it was her business ultimately, he should have said, okay, let me take a step back. Let me support her as she needs to be supported, but I also can find things that may be important to me, or maybe that I feel of value to this business. So I feel like just in any partnership, the other person who's not feeling welcome still have to do that same self-evaluation too.
Well, the funny thing, because I had, again, and I don't disagree with you, but
Okay.
when you're in a relationship,
Uh-huh.
this is just my advice. You
Uh-huh.
know, if your business is not thriving yet, there can't be two entrepreneurs in the relationship. There
I
needs to be
agree.
one stable person, the one chasing the dream.
Right.
It's because if both chasing the dream and they have a short month, that's just gonna cause frustration in the relationship right away. And I think just because back then, when this happened, 40s? I
The,
can't remember.
in 1940s. Yeah.
When was it?
Uh-huh.
Was it the
It
40s?
happened. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think that's the year, but yeah, okay. You can go with that.
But I think their opportunities were limited. Well, we know their opportunities were limited.
Yeah.
And so I think his fear made him respond a certain way because
Yeah.
and we can see that his fear. He's like, oh, let's go back to the hotel. There's this manual labor and things like that. But you know, she was remarkable because she does have a vision. Like you said, there are a lot of women today who have vision and can the man support the vision, but can the woman balance the relationship with as big as their own dreams? So those are the things that are challenging.
Yeah, I think on both ends. Like, I feel like that was so what you're bringing up and mentioning it as far as entrepreneurship and how a person now day and age with entrepreneurship is the same thing. Like, you see so many people who want to have like power couple or that entrepreneur couple. I want to be an entrepreneur. You want to be an entrepreneur when nobody even considers balance. And balance is something that needs to actually take place. And I agree with what you said about like, we can't have two people chasing after a dream. But that's why sometimes some relationships end too, because you then put all your soul and heart into someone chasing their dream. And then when it's your turn, they don't allow you that time. So they make it feel like you're being selfish too, because they created all this space for you and this, made this environment for you to thrive. And then when it's their turn, they're like, wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Because, it's never the right time to make a business happen and be a full entrepreneur. But you do have to find ways where you support your spouse. And that's what I'm saying as far as him and her. I don't feel like neither one of them did a great job because he's a man, of course, and his ego. I don't even think it had anything to do with the time because now not many men feel that way here today. Like if they say, oh, my wife is on, depending on the guy's ego, he may not be okay with that.
True. Yeah.
So I just think it's really what happened then is kind of cyclical of like what has taken place now and continue to take place because so many people are becoming entrepreneurs or self-employed people and business owners that a spouse have to sometimes fall back on their personal goals or professional goals and become that one, helper or the person to just kind of absorb their spouse's energy and help them out. I just don't think it's fair in marriages sometimes when the other person is still selfish. So I feel like he was so gung-ho on like, where's my place? How do I fit? Versus like kind of doing that spouse thing where like, not saying that all spouses do this, taking a step back, observing and say, okay, this is what I observe. I can help you here. If you don't see fit, let me know. Like, because that's the type of conversation you need to have with your partner. Like, especially if you're not helping them in the way that they see fit. And he was just like, no. She's just like, no.
I think he tried.
I can't hear you.
I said I think he tried, but his ideas just didn't fit in their plans. The other guy was very supportive, and he was, the other guy in the movie that was married, but was like her assistant, or like probably like COO or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about just like the way. Like I said,
your volume is a little distorted. So
I commend her for her vision and everything like that and work ethics, but in terms of the way she handled her relationship,
yeah, Yeah, I mean, so I guess we'll continue to, discuss we got to come up with some interesting topics now for our quarantine virtual podcast remoting thing. At some point, since I know you're not sick, I'm okay with being around you. I know you're not sick, you ain't around the family, so you're all right with me.
Right. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Yeah, some better settings and stuff like that. But thanks for joining us.
Yes, thanks for joining us. I don't know what's happened to David's volume because it's a little off. All of a sudden you were louder now and I just can't hear you at all. But thanks, coworkers, for joining us. And until next time.
Bye.
That's all for today's episode of Work Spouse.
We would love for you to subscribe and leave a review. We welcome all feedback.
Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at WorksPousePod or email us with any questions at thyworkspouse@gmail.com. That's THYWORKSPOUSE@gmail.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe for updates on future shows. Until next time, coworkers.